Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to International Tonight. We have the chance to have Isabelle David, who is here in Paris, and she's going to talk to you about something very special. It's a new technique that is coming through that will absolutely interest you. I'll let her introduce herself to begin with, and then we'll go on with a couple of questions.
Sure. Well, I'm very happy to be in Paris, and thank you for the invitation. I've been training trainers here in Paris for a few times now. I've developed a technique which is called the Eye Movement Actualization. And I call it actualization because I want people to really fulfill themselves and be integrated with who they really are and to achieve their goals. But very rapidly. You know what it is? I'm over 50. Time is short. I want to take all the time that I have to really enjoy everything that there is. For example, in Paris, wine and fun, and so I'm believing that many people also want things to realize themselves and be happy more rapidly maybe than taking 20 years in therapy. Which they can, of course.
Yeah, it's their choice.
Right. And I'm okay with therapy because I'm also a trained therapist. But I was looking for something that people could change and that would stay in time or work with time because I didn't want people to change and then a year later everything did not work anymore for them. So I was accompanying people, and I still do, for over 30 years in coaching and in therapy, and I've noticed that a lot of people were moving their eyes. We all move our eyes.
We all move
our eyes. But what I've noticed is that depending on where we move our eyes, it could mean something very interesting and different.
So what you're saying is we move our eyes, but we don't necessarily know why we're moving them, but there's a goddamn reason why.
Exactly. Most people just know, okay, my eyes are down there, so what?
Okay.
What does it mean? In NLP, because I'm also from an NLP background, 30 years ago there was many of those tests being made, and a lot of research is being done today also on the eye movement.
Yes.
But what came out many years ago was that depending on where we're looking, we have internal representations that are connected to where our eyes are looking. And I knew that, of course, because I was trained and also trained people in NLP and hypnosis. And what I realized with my clients is that depending on where the eyes were going, depending on what they want to achieve, sometimes they were just not focusing on the right direction. Let me give you an example. I'm searching for something that is in the kitchen. I need to cook. So I'm looking for something.
Let's say you're looking for a pan.
A pan.
Okay.
But I'm looking in the bedroom.
Oh,
You know what?
Yeah.
So a lot of people in coaching or in therapy are searching in the wrong place, simply because they just don't know where the encoding is.
Exactly.
And where the internal representation is.
And if we put that on a situation where you have a problem, is sometimes your pan is really in the bedroom.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem. You're looking in the kitchen for it, but for one reason or another, you left it in the bedroom.
Now, some people will say it's fun to have a pen in the bedroom.
Absolutely.
That's okay too.
I'd say to everybody, you must have your pen in your bedroom.
Which is fine. But if you're searching for something and you don't know where it is, that's where it takes time and it's conflicting and it's a problem. But with the EMA, the Eye Movement Actualization, right away in a few seconds, you could know where somebody has stored something in themselves.
Absolutely.
So, and it very rapidly comes up. The person does not have to know the map of their own house. But internally, just connecting with the eyes, we know as people that accompany them.
There's something somewhere, and it's there.
Exactly, and it's there.
It's
not over there, it's there,
and practicing, which is really fabulous, it's really there. Because there's something that is connecting with the person, there's the emotion.
Yes.
The emotion is there.
Yeah, and that's important because people believe, it's only in the head. No. We connect in the body, in the soul, in the spirit, in the emotion. So it's not only something intellectual.
A lot of the work we're doing, therapy, coaching, etc., it's very word-oriented. And the way our civilizations are going, we're we're kind of like
yeah, we talk a lot. Yes,
you know,
exactly.
we forget that we have a body,
Yeah.
and part of that body is our eyes. And what I do love about that is it's the link between the two.
Mm-hmm.
The body talks.
Yes.
The eyes talk.
Yeah.
They'll say a couple of things.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what people say, the eyes are what? The mirror of the soul, of what's happening inside.
Exactly.
And looking at where the eyes go, it's an indicator of what's happening inside. Yeah.
And what I like about that technique is it's an indication of what's going inside.
Yes.
When you're working with someone, you don't know what's going inside. You don't need to say for the person what's going inside.
Oh, that's so important that you say that, because a lot of people don't know how to talk, or it's difficult, or they went through difficult things, or sometimes you just cannot put words into something.
Exactly.
They're experimenting.
Yeah.
And you know what? The great news is you don't have to.
Exactly.
Because with the eyes, it just goes to the right place.
You know that
Yes.
in your bedroom you have something from the kitchen.
Yes.
It's not. It's not a pan.
Yeah.
You just know it's there.
It's there.
And
But now you need to put it in another place because it's not its place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the person doesn't necessarily need to name it.
No.
You just need to move it.
Exactly. That's exactly it. We could see when we accompany somebody with the eye movement, that wherever the eyes go, it's an indicator. It's like a map.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mapping us the information or where things should be, so that it really permits the person to achieve their goals very rapidly, actually.
When did that all start?
It all started many years ago when I was working with clients. I've noticed that they were moving all their eyes in different directions, and I knew that it meant something because I was trained to that. But I really realized very rapidly that people were not achieving their goals, were not really getting the results that they wanted. And I was curious.
You know what I think really like personal.
Yeah.
Try to tell me.
Yes.
When did the light go on?
Yes.
When did you have this hey, there's a question there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember with who,
Well,
where, something like that?
I don't remember exactly with whom, but I remember very well that my questioning at that time was, how come people want something, but they just cannot get it? I mean, as human beings, you put the energy, the effort, the time, and you really want it, and it's coherent, it's who you are. You should be getting it, and you should get there, but something's not working. And most of the time it's not working simply because you don't have the connection with the inner soul, with the inner self, with the unconscious mind. The conscious says something, there's no connection. The unconscious is not hearing, is not knowing, or vice versa. The unconscious says, hey, I'm there, I want to tell you something, but the conscious mind is saying, I don't hear you. With the eye movement. And
can we say we're going back to the thing
yes.
where sort of separated things?
Sure, absolutely.
And if our body is saying something, our eyes are saying something, we won't be listening because it's not, concrete.
And we're not used to it. And you know what? And we just don't know what to listen to.
Exactly.
We just don't know. What's incredible about it is that when our eyes move, it's authentic, it's real, it's unique, it's who we are.
I know we can see it because when the person identifies the pan in the bedroom, the emotion is there. Exactly. The body will tell you that emotion,
right.
And you can't. There's one thing that will not. J'ai trahison. Help me in English.
Yeah. Well, it would not lie to us, anyways. It's the truth. It's what's happening with somebody. It's not a betrayal in that sense.
Absolutely.
What's great about it is that whether you're a therapist or a coach or anybody that does accompany other people, are just there to help other people, using the eye movement, but not only the eye movement, but the actualization part. I called it actualization based on Maslow theory of, accomplishing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because for me, what was important was not only to resolve issues or problems in your life, which is great, but how can you be a better person? How could you be the best of who you could be? How could you actualize and activate all the resources that you have inside of you?
Let's go on that point.
Yes.
Because we've been talking about the eyes, the movement, etc., etc. Actualization.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by actualization is being able in every moment of your life to take who you are and bring it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And to change and evolve to the best that you can ever be. In other words, the seed that you are will eventually develop into something, a tree or plant, and that's the best of who you are. For example, a musician will be a musician in the sense, but sometimes you don't know that you're a musician.
Mm.
You don't know that you're a poet. You don't know that you're a doctor inside of yourself.
Can we say that the actualization will
Yes.
be the communication between the conscious and the unconscious?
Yes, absolutely, and bring you in time to the coherence and the integrity and the respect of your values, of who you really are deeply inside of yourself.
Mm. That must be really nice.
Yes. Yeah, my clients would say that. I've trained a lot of people internationally for many years now in the Eye Movement Actualization, and a lot of people say that. The most beautiful thing for them is that they don't have to talk if they don't want to. They could keep their privacy if they want to, or sometimes it's not privacy, it's simply they don't know how to say it.
Mm.
But the high movement, which is also the contact very fast with the unconscious, will bring very rapidly the connection with the truth and the resource. So people appreciate that because it's fast.
It is.
It really is.
It is definitely fast.
As somebody...
And it's simple.
And it's simple. Well, that's an important thing. For ourselves, we could really utilize it for us. I use it for myself. First of
So
all,
do I.
yeah, exactly. Why wait for somebody else? You can do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
But as somebody who also coaches or as a therapist, it's a tool also for people to become autonomous so that they could learn, we could teach them how to use it. And they will continue between sessions to work on themselves and to evolve. And that's for me something very important. People will be in action and take the power to themselves.
Absolutely.
So of their own lives and their own change.
And that is very important.
Yes.
Because people will be able to have tools in
Yes.
their own hands
Yeah.
and evolve in the directions where they want to go.
Exactly. Which is not somebody that tells them you should do this, you should do that. That model is very respectful of the model of the world of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody, for example, usually what we do is somebody, their eyes move in one direction, we notice that they should go in another direction for many reasons. We help them making the change, but they the one to decide whether they should do it this way or that way or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's the client which is 100% autonomous in their own capacity of change. It comes with the idea, a principle behind that they do have inside them what they need to change. Because the unconscious knows what they need. The conscious wants, the unconscious knows. And in the connection with the two, it's incredible.
When I practice, sometimes more on a therapeutic
Yes,
basis.
because you're psychotherapist.
I've seen people asking because they're always, when they come, the solution is within the person you're meeting, and that's the first relation you're basing is to say, no, I don't have the solutions. You have them, and we'll be working together so you can sort out a couple of things. And they ask me, can you do it for me? So I put the fingers, you see it, I'll do it.
Yes.
I'll guide them for a time.
Which is okay.
It's okay because the person...
You can guide the person, yes, sure.
The person
If that's what they
asks,
need.
so I go through it. And afterwards, you stop a bit, the person will unconsciously do it
Themselves.
by themselves.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very good point. Often we see people creating and generating change without them knowing that they're doing it. So I love to tell them, wow, now if you take a time to realize what's happening, you're making the changes yourself. That's a very important moment, a wow moment for many people. Yes.
And when you invite the person to, if the person needs another resource or things like that, I've realized in the sessions that I've been working with people, different people, that you'll guide them to begin with, but at the end, they won't be asking you.
That's what we mean by people can become autonomous and do it by themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as long as they understand how it works and they have their own way of getting the information, most people will want to do them by themselves. And if they want us to do it, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll just there for them.
But I realize in 20 minutes
Yes.
time,
Mhm.
you're there,
Yes.
you guide, and at the end, 20 minutes.
Yeah, maximum, yes.
20 minutes is
Yeah.
nothing.
I know it's very short.
It's very,
fast
very,
and
very
yeah,
short.
yeah.
And at the end, the person is doing it alone.
Yes.
They don't need you.
I know.
And
know.
that-
Now, don't tell that to many people because they will say, "Oh, I'm not getting clients." You know what? You'll have more clients.
Absolutely.
You'll have even more clients because they're going to be so satisfied and doing things for themselves, and they say, "My God, now that is somebody that I want to refer."
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's important to say because
Yes.
people will be thinking, well, I won't be working anymore, things like that. But
On the contrary,
Absolutely.
and I'm happy that you say that because most people might have that impression. You know, if I could help a client achieve their goals or be autonomous and know how to do it, why should they come and see me? Well, you know what? There's so many people out there. You'll have tons of clients, anyways. No, it's a very, very good approach, really.
I know the way I work is I'm trying to be as more unuseful as possible.
That's a good point.
That's my goal.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I like that.
And I know that
I
technique
like that.
helps me a lot.
Yes, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the
that's
person
good.
knows or anyways can have access to
Yes.
certain knowledge to go in the directions
Now,
where they
what you're
want to.
saying, which is the most important thing, is when you're trained, because you're trained
Yeah.
in the EMA, when you're trained to help people achieve their goal, but also follow the protocols and to have the
Absolutely.
structure.
Mm.
Now, within that structure, the client could be flexible.
Yeah.
But you're the guide of the structure.
Oh, definitely. And you let the breathing time. I remember the first times, you're there and the person is going to do that. I'm not useful, and you're there, and then you're just like, wait a minute, this is good, and you just breathe it through, and you just connect to the person, and it's really, really comfortable and really nice. And
That's what a lot of people told me, therapists, because you are, and also coaches. It's good to know that you're there, and it's important to be there.
It is.
Because you're there for the client, but then know that the client could do themselves
Mm-hmm.
and really achieve their goals at the same time as you're there for them. But they're doing it. They are doing it. Totally 100% doing it. So you're not responsible or taking on your shoulders anything at that time. But of course, your competencies and your capacities are very important. That's why you're trained for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how come people come and see you, which is crucial. I mean, you're trained in EMA, you're not, you know what it is. But the clients, once they could use that, after that, even when they're at home, they could continue the process by themselves.
And it evolves, things evolve, so...
Yes. Yeah.
So why are you in Paris?
Good question. I love Paris. Actually, I was born in Paris many years ago, but I'm in Paris because I'm training trainers, and we're developing now a new environment for the EMA to develop in many languages, and Paris is a focal point also for Europe.
Absolutely.
So we're developing associations and connections all for Europe coming from Paris.
Good. So next stop is London, UK?
Absolutely. Yes, yeah. Through Switzerland and many other countries that I travel already to train trainers.
Great. Something to add to?
Well, I would just like people to explore and test it for themselves. There are many coaches out there and therapists using the technique already and the approach. And they could take also a training 2 days or 4 days and have the experience. Nothing's best than have the experience.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of demonstrations also available on the website and through the net. So people could just have a look and share and then go meet somebody and have the experience for themselves. And it just talks by itself.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And it's not because it's simple and it's fast
No.
that it doesn't work.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd even say it's the contrary.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's simple and it's fast, that's one of the reasons why it works.
It works. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because language was invented, but before we had language, our body was already there.
Absolutely.
And one part of our body is our eyes.
Very important part too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you very much.
Have a nice day in Paris.
Thank you.
And do join us for our next show on International Tonight.